pageantry is not just about the fabulous gowns and slaying it on the runway, it's also about that beautiful mind.
Our guest today is helping contestants ace one of pageantry's most awaited parts, the question and answer portion. Joining us today is pageant Q&A coach, no other than Nathan. Sison, welcome.
Hi.
Yes, hi again.
For coming.
You know what's so amazing?
Training us to
You know what's so amazing, Nathan, is I've heard of these new things coming out in pageantry, like coaching how to walk, how to look, and all of these. But Q&A coaching, this is something new, but very much needed.
No, actually,
Yes.
Q&A, that's not new.
But
it's been more rampant lang now that it has to be more mind over beauty. Before, right, it was mostly beauty, but now they're checking how
But what about the
intellectual
profession
they are.
itself of just being specifically a
For
Q&A
pageant
coach?
Q&A.
Yeah.
Actually, when I started iCore Academy, which is where I do my coachings, initially it was a public speaking facility. But I realized the pageant industry itself is very lucrative, that you can just specifically focus on such a skill to teach and coach. So that's why I focused on that. And yeah, you're correct. It's quite new in a sense. Well, queens have been preparing. Monique here is a beauty queen. Queens have been preparing for Q&A,
Yes.
right? But
Q&A is
only
the
this
hardest.
time na nagkaroon talaga ng very, very specific positions ang mga team. Like there's a different coach for pasarela, a different one for the design. Dati it was all just the handler doing everything. And now I get a place in the pageant scene as a Q&A coach.
It's very niche na, no?
Correct.
Where do you see the weakness in Q&A? Like when you train these girls, what weakness do you see in them that they don't have? Because we just talked, right, for example, we just had the education department conversation kanina. So where do you see what lack of skills they need?
I think it's just about every time I do a coaching session, I start off first with like an assessment. So there are a series of questions that I throw to the candidate or a girl or a king. We also have males preparing for pageants as well. And based on that, I look at what do they lack. Sometimes they do not lack the facility in language, but what they lack is what to prepare. Sometimes they lack about the knowledge of the actual pageant they're going into, because different pageants entail different styles, different skill sets. So I think it's about knowing what to prepare. So some of them are already okay. They just needed to know what they need to prepare. So
Nathan, I want to
that's it.
ask, how did you find this knack for being able to coach for Q&A? Like, has it always been inherent in you? Were you always watching the Q&A and answering them right at the screen? Like, I can answer
Like,
this.
that's so easy, I got this.
I got this.
Right.
Like, how did you find this very specific knack?
So I've always been fascinated with women who speak so well. Unfortunately, pageants is there. But my first North Star was looking at news anchors. So Rachel Maddows, Robin Roberts,
Maria
Maria
Rodriguez.
Ressa, and of course,
Rodriguez,
all of you who are
Cody
here.
Salvador.
Hangang-hanga ko. I really look up to these people. So after that, I realized that there's this one night I was watching Binibining Pilipinas 2007. I was like grade 6 during that time. And I've written that also. That moment of like serendipity, like I want to kind of do that. But there's male pageant back then were not a thing yet. It was Teresa Licaros who eventually won Binibining Pilipinas Universe. That particular Q&A made me realize na, okay, this is something that I want to venture into.
And
Why? What was the question?
I was gonna ask, what was the question?
The question that Teresa Licaros was a lawyer, no? She was a top UP board grad in law. So the question that was thrown at her was if she could choose between the crown or love life, which would she choose and why?
Oh, that's a very common
Yeah.
question,
So watch nyo, I mean, you will learn so much from that. But what I like about her was she didn't just answer in a pageant patty way. She answered in a way that was so calm. So the demeanor. So as a public speaker, I'm also looking at not only the content,
Wait,
but also
what
the
was her
demeanor.
answer?
So her answer was she picked the crown. Because
What?
she believes that
I thought love wins.
Actually, it depends on like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
person kasi,
How do you
right?
explain?
Yeah.
So how did she defend that?
By the way, let me just pick up from that point, Vaishal. There's no wrong answers in Q&A, by
Yeah.
the way.
I love that,
But she defended by saying that once the crown is no longer on her head and she was able to pass it on, then she can fulfill her love life. But with the crown, it's a once in a
Oh,
lifetime
I remember this
opportunity.
because actually when I
Yeah.
did Q&A training during my time, we go through some of the old queens
Yes,
with
they're
really
doing.
eloquent answers and we listen to how they crafted their answers. But kasi before, during my time, what was uso, this is where I saw that my lack in the Q&A. They tend to memorize themes. It's very templated. So they'll talk about their advocacy, women empowerment. Like there's themes para when they answer the same question, it's a different
I like what you're
answer geared
saying,
to it.
because when I would watch pageants, I would see that sometimes they already have this draft of an answer that they will just inject to any question and then reuse it.
And so like now, that's why we're seeing trends of Q&A is really important, because you have to be, like you said, well-read, well-prepared, and you have to know what's going on, current events, because you really have to know what's happening on the fly to present that.
Correct.
So for example, we're going to be your students. What questions do you ask? Like you said kanina during the
process. Are we doing this right now?
No, later pa yun. Relax lang.
I'm ready.
I just want to know his process.
This is fun. You can do this like for an hour,
okay.
right?
I think this is important because it's for anyone and everyone, not just beauty queens. So go ahead.
Okay,
so
what
saying,
questions
do I ask? What questions do you ask to know like the skill level?
Okay, so I have these 3 common questions that I ask during the first session of coaching. My coaches do know this. So the first question that I ask is, why should you win? It's a very basic question, but by just answering that, I know right off the bat whether this girl is ready or not. And there's so many routes on how to go about that answer.
Oh my gosh, my hands are already sweating and I don't even need to answer.
You don't answer it. I know.
I'm just really embodying it because now, so that the viewers can actually understand, there's really weight to this.
Yes,
you know, once you stand there, it's easy for us as the audience to say like, oh my gosh, why did you answer that? Or why did you? But once you're placed in that position, I'm sure, Mo, you know.
Well, and it's not just the critical thinking. It's being on stage. All the lights are you. On you, all eyes are on you. So there's a lot of elements that go into it. But sorry, continue.
By the way, what I also did was I analyzed different questions, so systematically. So it has been part of my research also.
So he does like a psychological thing.
It's not just about like before pageant, as you said, it's templated, it's just basically prepared. But what we don't realize is we can actually study the series of questions. So the second thing that I asked, aside from why should you win, it's a hypothetical one. If you were to be an animal, what animal would you be? And the reason for that question is I want to test the wittiness, the creativity of a person. Because usually, queens are prepared about their advocacy. They can just throw it right away. But those types of questions, it takes them aback. They go, what animal would you be? Then they would like, what? It's like not a serious question. But any question, you can turn it into something inspiring. I'll teach you guys later.
I love that. But actually, Nate, I want to know, baka ma-controversy tayo. If when you ask that question, why you want to win, if a pageant girl went up to you and they're doing it for the wrong reasons, or nakita mo na that they're lacking and hindi sila strong enough to do, how do you handle that?
So we go with the next series of questions, Unleashing Her Core. So the name of the academy that I founded is I-Core Academy, from the word I and core. Your core or core pillars, your values, your experiences, those are things that you have to unleash, or where you can anchor your answers.
So you have to know yourself.
So that's what we do. So sometimes some girls, and by the way, let me just share with all of you, some girls would come to me, and of course they have their managers with them, they have their core team. Usually they would come with things already ready. But when I ask them, is this really something that you stand by? Is this really you? And they would say, actually, no, it was just given to me by my managers, it was given to me by this, by that. So I said, well, let's start from scratch because you won't be able to carry that through. How can you be a queen for the people if you are not carrying your truest self out there, your story out there?
Well said, it's all about authenticity too, right? And you know, more and more when I see pageants, the answers are, how do you say, it's more raw, more real, right? And that one takes a lot of training. And speaking about training, you will be doing that later on. Not just for us. Not just for us. For me. Because you know, when I used to join pageants, which I never did. I never did, guys. I never did. No, actually, I used to do improv. And we would have a portion there called beauty contest. But we would have to answer with song lines. So it was more for the humor. Improvisation. But the beauty of what you're going to be teaching us later on, is that so that the audience can actually apply it also in their
Yeah.
everyday lives.
And especially public speaking.
Yeah.
That's really important. And we need a refresher on that.
So
Yeah.
we're
Di tayo sa
gonna.
public, sa cameras lang tayo. So we need a refresher on how to speak to the people.
Actually, Q&A in itself is a public speaking form.
There you go. Yes,
And
agree.
it's a speech spectacle. It's not just you answering a question. Just like
Right.
pasarela, it's not you just walking. It's an art form in walk. So
Yeah.
Q&A, it's a response, but creative, crafted, beautifully.
I
and
love
artistic.
it.
Okay, I'm excited already.
We're gonna do that later with
Yeah.
you. I want to ask him though a question. This is actually for all of us here at Billionario. How would you handle a controversial question for a pageant girl, or for
Nice.
us? How do we handle some? Like we're supposed to be. We are neutral. We're Switzerland. So how do we handle situations like that?
Yeah, polarizing questions, we call it like
Religion,
that way. Yeah.
politics, money.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you have to know you're gonna be strategic here. As a coach, what we do is a strategy. Like for example, take a look at this. For example, an issue about trans women competing in female pageantry has evolved already.
Right.
If that question were to be asked in Miss Universe, you know how to answer. You have to study what does this pageant or organization stand for, because they accept trans women in Miss Universe. But if it were to be like Binibining Pilipinas, for example, where they remain conservative, the answer or the response were to adjust as well. So that's if you want to strategically win. But of course, in any case, then go back to your core. What do you really believe in? So it's about playing safe if you want to win it all, or it's about having that conviction to go with what you really stand for. But of course, you really have to defend that after, because remember, Q&A is only 30 seconds. After that, you will be interviewed by the media to re-explain everything over again.
You know, I would be so scared if you were in the panel of judges and you were the one asking the questions, because I always say this, sometimes it's not about the answer, it's about also asking the right question.
Yeah.
So, speaking about questions, am I ready?
Yeah, sometimes the questions are kind of outrageous.
Yeah, and
like sometimes, right?
And doing Q&A sessions, believe it or not, even me, I think I've asked thousands of questions already. It's hard for me to come up with a good one.
Are
So
those
mahirap din.
prepared? Like, are those questions given by the judges, are they usually submitted first prior? I'm out of curiosity, usually, in pageantry.
Depends,
It depends
but
on which
supposedly
platform.
it shouldn't be.
Okay,
Yeah,
so it-
shouldn't be.
I actually don't know how it works. I was
just
the
got
one being
asked.
asked.
There was a time where I sat as a judge in a municipality pageant. I was shocked with the level of questions. Like, are these candidates running for the presidency?
Yeah.
Given the leveling of questions. So sometimes the questions come from the organizers. So sometimes it's from the judges.
And like I want to touch base again on what you said, both of y'all actually. Authenticity is very important
Yeah.
when doing a pageant, because most of the time, the people can see right through you, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes, even though you don't win the pageant, but you're trending ka for the right reasons because
Yeah.
of what you said.
Correct.
So
Right or wrong reasons.
well, either
Yeah.
way, so that's why like it's really important to really stick to your core, like
Yeah.
you
Know
mentioned.
yourself.
Yeah, and you know yourself. So
Okay.
I wanna ask you some questions, girl.
Are we doing this right now?
Yeah,
All
let's do
right.
it.
I was born ready. Three,
co-chair.
two,
You have a co-chair.
one.
I'm
Okay.
just the mediator. Baka mag-away.
Okay.
I'm
Wait.
ready.
Before we do this, how
do we
does?
do it?
Okay. Can you give 3 tips to any?
She got nervous. She's like,
Okay.
where is she stalling?
3 tips quickly.
All right, Shao. So 3 tips for answering a Q&A.
Yeah, for
One
anyone.
is to directly answer the question. Do not add any unnecessary opening.
Really?
Directly answer
no
the
more.
question right away.
Thank you very much for that wonderful
And then
question.
repeat the
That's so
question by
passe.
time.
That's so
Goodbye
passe.
time.
Okay.
And later it's gonna be
Wala
up
na,
the
yeah.
bell time, right?
Okay.
So answer the question directly.
Okay.
Go straight to the point. Second one is if you can insert yourself, what will you do with the question? Insert yourself. Find a purpose. Why are you answering that question?
Wow,
And
okay.
leave an inspiring message. And lastly, end with an impact. End well. If you don't know how to end with an impact, at least sound confident. So that
I'll go with the
Kaya mo
sound
yan.
confident. Oh my gosh.
Okay, let's
hands
go.
are wet.
Go,
Alright.
Nate. Ask her a question.
Wait lang, maximum of 3 lang, guys.
maximum of 3.
Try, Nate.
Sige. Just top of mind, and I want this to be trending.
Whoa, trending? Are you
Of course,
ready?
we're in the daily dish, so we should do something that would make
Let's leave the
Shao
trending
trend.
part to Coach V. Okay.
Okay. Imagine if you were in a sinking ship. Who would you save? President Bongbong Marcos or Vice President Sara Duterte?
Oh my God! Wait lang.
I would save first our current president only because he is the sitting president and he is the current leader of the country. And then I would I would like to save both so I could save my own life. Is that okay? Baka mapatay ako agad dito. Okay.
Okay, so let me give some coaching tips about
Yes,
it. All right. So I understand that is like a surprising question.
And that's
but
the controversial
that's
one
a
we
very
talked about
controversial
kanina.
one.
You
I
don't
know.
maybe.
Should we hug?
Pag ako nawalan ng trabaho,
No? Okay, but you did well. You handled it well.
Okay.
So you weren't nervous at all. But
Okay.
here's the thing. When you're asked such a question that is polarizing, that is controversial, you know your response might divide the people.
Yeah.
The safest way to go is to deflect. I have this technique that I coined deflection.
Oh my gosh.
How do you do deflect?
We love deflecting.
Yes.
Answering the question without answering it. So you're being asked to choose between the two, and you know if you choose one, you're gonna
A
divide
or B.
the person, right?
Oh, wait. Take two. I
Okay.
choose to save myself because
Effective
without
coach,
effective.
Yeah.
I learned right away. Good coach. I choose to save myself because without saving myself, how can you save others first?
There you go. There you go. We have a winner here.
Okay, I get to keep my job.
You get
Okay.
it.
Okay, next question. Good go. Deflecting.
Now I
Okay.
understand. Okay, how to
There you
handle
go.
Hey,
it.
politicians can actually use this as well.
Yes, yes.
But please don't deflect.
I do coach politicians for public speaking.
Oh, nice.
See, very
Yeah.
vital. Okay,
Yeah.
last one.
Second.
Yes,
Okay,
second.
last one.
Last
right?
one.
And then the last one will be coming from
Okay,
Monique.
second one.
Sige, my second question, this one was asked Miss Universe 2002. It's an interesting question. I want to use it to you as a case study.
She's sweating.
What makes
don't know how you
you
do it.
what makes you blush?
As you can see, I'm currently blushing right now, which means as much as I would like to share it, PG-13.
Yeah, authentic. Okay.
Okay, I just want everyone to know that this is really difficult because you really try to say the first thing that comes into mind to make it
Yeah.
real, but at the same time, you don't know if that would be accepted or the right
Yeah.
way to do it. Okay, what's your tip? Because I know I answered wrong. Let's be
Okay.
honest.
So again, there's no such thing as a wrong answer as long as you can defend
yes,
it,
okay.
right?
No wrong or right.
Because once we started telling you that your answer is wrong, maybe there's a reason. Maybe it's just the way it was packaged. No? So
Okay.
what makes you blush? So really, if you're gonna answer it now, thinking about it, ano ba talaga yung nakakapagpa-blush sa'yo? Is it love? Is it your career right now? Is it the crown?
Sa akin, my
The idea-
makeup. My
Okay.
makeup makes me blush.
Okay.
Honest
Because
answer.
we are blushing.
Okay. So my tip is basically think about what really is it and
Okay.
generalize it. So once you started to generalize, so what makes me blush? You can anchor it towards your advocacy.
expound it.
Yeah, expound it. Like for example, what makes me blush is knowing the fact that tonight I might walk away with the crown.
Oh my
and by walking
gosh,
away
I
with
should
that
have
crown,
answered that.
I can carry out my advocacies and purpose, and you know what to do already. And then there's a structure
Okay,
that you follow.
last one. We're
I'm
learning.
going to ask you the last one.
Okay. Be
No,
nice,
'cause
Ma.
Yeah.
No, you already know
Okay,
the question.
what's it?
'Cause it's what Nathan asked kanina, like the parang pre-screening question.
Okay, what is it?
Because I
Okay.
want to know, if you
Okay.
were an animal, what animal would you be? I want to know your answer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I would be a honey badger because not many people know what a honey badger is, but they're definitely powerful until you meet them.
Well,
Until you beat them.
Did you meet a honey badger? Do you guys know what a honey badger is? I just learned it last
Honey
week.
badger is a honey badger.
It's small, but it's terrible.
wow.
Okay. yeah.
So you're small but terrible.
I'm a honey badger. Yeah.
I love it. Well, now, okay, let's turn it now around.
The right.
to me.
No wrong or right, but the
We
better
have
way.
another guest. Yes, kidding. Okay.
Ikaw na, the spotlight
Back to
is
you,
on you.
back to you.
We're
Yes.
gonna test the skills.
Okay, let's
okay,
go.
Nate, nagbabalitan na tayo. Back to you over there.
Okay.
So, Charlie, ka muna.
Okay,
I'm
Nathan.
gonna do the Q&A. Okay.
Yes, you answer this time. Gantihan to. Okay, Nathan, if you were to win this pageant, but there would be a controversy that someone actually helped or gave an extra hand, what would you do? Would you keep the crown or would you actually relinquish it?
I would relinquish it if that's the case. I would never put my integrity down the line. I would show the person that I am that is honest, somebody that would win on my own merit, not with a helping hand of any other. Because I think that's what would make me
Script
an
drop.
effective-
Amazing.
amazing
He
ambassador
didn't
for
even
the
have to
organization.
finish. I was like, wow.
Okay, next question.
Okay, we always ask this here on the Daily Dish, and we always say, don't give us your beauty queen answer.
Okay.
So dapat hindi to beauty queen,
Okay,
okay?
no- sige,
so
no
if
beauty
you
queen
had
answer.
1 billion pesos right now, what would you do with it? And
Okay,
why?
definitely. So my goal and aspiration is to travel the world. I would like to travel the world and also showcase the stories of the people that I would meet. that would be something amazing that with that 1 billion, I can make my dream purposeful. So that's what I would do. It's not a beauty queen answer.
That's a nice
You know, it's not a beauty queen answer. It's a real.
answer,
This is
but
not
he
the
also
channel.
like ended it with a bang. Kasi ang ganda, like I want to help showcase other people's
Okay,
stories.
another question that we always ask here at the Daily Dish is.
Last na to, don't worry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Three is to
We're
three.
serving dishes now.
If you were a dish, did I get it right?
If you were to serve.
If you were to serve.
Actually, pero maganda yung other way mo.
The other way. Oh.
Let's change
Okay,
it.
if you were a
gantihan.
dish to be served to anyone, okay, every single day, what dish would you be?
Ooh, okay. So hypothetical one. So something that my comfort food is really sinigang. So if I were to serve a dish, that would be it. Because I know that it can warm so many souls. And through that, by sipping the soup together, by having that bond, I'm sure that anyone would appreciate the company with that dish. So that's what I would
Ang
say.
ganda ng sinigang!
My asin si Nathan!
May
Oh
asin
my
ako,
God!
Wow, Nathan, and this is why you're so amazing at what you do. But before we let you go, if our
Yes.
viewers are interested in talking to you, getting life coach from
And to
you,
learn more also about
where can they
public
find
speaking.
you?
Yeah, so you can find me. I have my IG at Nathan Sison. Also, iCore Academy at iCore Academy. And also, for those of you who don't have time to train, you can do your self-training. I actually have a published book. It's called
Nice.
Speak and Win. So Speak and
Nice.
Win, this is really about Q&A. It's not just a book generally about public speaking. It's really niched for preparations for pageant Q&A. You can only avail this directly from me through iCore Academy Instagram page.
So exclusive. I love
Wonderful.
it.
That was so
Yeah.
Thank you. That
Thank
was
you
such
so
a fun
much.
segment. We learned so much. Again, guys, that was Nathan Sison. Thank you again for joining us.